I've ridden past the Majors Bay Reserve sports ovals an awful lot, but I've never actually been in there. And I was interested to see that the upgrade cost $6.7 million, with $4.4 million of that coming from the state government, and no, 2.3 from the state government and $4.5 million almost from council. So pretty hefty chunk of money to go into this project. And it opened up early this year. Looks really nice, synthetic ovals, new amenities block and grandstand, etc. Good looking piece of kit. And I rode past here for months watching it getting constructed, etc. So, I thought, well, what would it be like to actually visit the place as a cyclist? So, they've got some photos on the website here. There's the amenities block on the left, and I expected that you'd be able to ride up the path there behind it and park somewhere, because here's the amenities block, and normally these things got toilets and sometimes little cafe, etc. My kids have played soccer at ovals all over the place, all over the inner west, and they typically have this kind of thing at every oval. Not as nice as this one, and normally there's somewhere you can park some push bikes, particularly when you're playing kids sport. And this just shows the progress of them doing the oval, etc. Pretty interesting process the way that they did it. There's the mare in the middle. Obviously it's all very sporty, as you'd expect, and look at that, looks great. There's new lights and all the rest of it for playing at night. This I found really interesting. I thought they would have built the amenities block on site, but no, they built it off site and trucked it in. So essentially it's just a donger. I never thought they might have done it that way, but that's the way they did it, and it looks really good. So can you actually ride over there and train for soccer or hockey or whatever the heck this thing's for, or watch a game, or even play a game? Because if you're playing sport, why wouldn't you want to get some exercise on? Now, before we go any further, I just want to draw your attention to a traffic study that was done for the Inner West Council for Richard Murden Reserve. Now, I've put out a lot of videos around Hawthorn Parade, along Richard Murden Reserve, around the netball courts and the new shared path that they're doing there, etc. Now, last year, when they were proposing upgrading the netball courts, some of the residents on the street had some concerns about what the impact on parking would be of having netball courts there and players coming to play, etc. And so they did a traffic study, not a netball study, and one of the interesting things that they came out with was how many parking spaces there should be per employee, or per 100 square metres of gross floor area, as well as how many bicycle parking spaces should be provided based on that. So obviously they've done a calculation here. Each netball court is 465 square metres, 3.5 courts gives you 1,600 square metres essentially, which would generate a bicycle parking requirement of 18 visitor bicycle parking spaces. Now, I've never seen anything like this anywhere else, but this is part of their DCP 2007, so I did actually look up what that means, and I can't remember what that acronym is, but some council thing. Funny thing is, though, those bicycle parking spaces haven't been installed yet. Maybe they're going to put them in once the shared path is completed. Once that opens up, we'll have to follow that up with council. Anyway, now that we know that you can calculate the number of bicycle parking spaces based on either the number of employees or the gross floor area of a space, we should be able to look at council projects like the Majors Bay Reserve project here, and any others, and see, well, how many bicycle parking spaces should they be putting in. Now, what you've just been watching me doing here is riding around and around the car park, the amenities block and the oval, looking for some bike racks. And the closest thing I could find was a fence where you could possibly lock your bike up. If there's bike racks there, they're extremely well hidden. They must be camouflaged. The other thing I did is I then went over to Wangal Reserve in Mortlake, which is supposedly just opening this new playground, to see if there's any bike racks down here, because who would be the major users of a playground? Kids. What do kids want to ride? Bikes. I got down there, didn't seem to be opened, lots of concrete being poured, lots of tradies running around, so I didn't really have a close look, but I couldn't see anywhere you'd expect them to find them. Now, just remember, the Majors Bay sports thing was $6.7 million. Maybe they just couldn't afford to put in some bike racks. Maybe they're hideously expensive. I don't know. Maybe they just forgot to put them into the plan. Of course, the important thing when you're doing a plan is to put the bike racks where they're visible, so that you have crime prevention through environmental design. I think that's what the acronym's about. I.e., you want to have them where people can see them, so that thieves, can't just get at the bikes when everyone's watching the sport, because they've been hidden away where no one's looking over them. Anyway, I guess that's something to chase up with council, is whether they've got any money left over from that project to actually put some racks in one day. And with Wangal Reserve, are they putting any racks down there for kids that want to go and use the new playground?